in tracking history. Travelers matter to us here in McAllen, and the travelers and tourists that come visit to stay in our hotels, shop in our stores.
And now from McAllen City Hall, a meeting of the McAllen City Commission.
Pledge of Allegiance, followed by invocation by Commissioner Rudy Castillo.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All bow our heads, please. Oh, Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to have us all here together trying to make our best decisions for this wonderful city. We also pray for our community and our servicemen and women who are there when we need them. Thank you. In God's name we pray. Amen.
And I think we have two that signed up for testimony. We have Laurel McLeish regarding item agenda number 7.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of McAllen City Commission. I also want to thank the City Attorney for his communication with me on this issue. My name is Laurel McLeish, and I live in Pepe Cavazos, Devacas District. While reviewing the agenda for today's meeting, I saw that the following item was listed under executive session, and even though I know you cannot respond to me, I'd like some clarification at some point. According to Cornell Law School's Legal Institute, the legislative process includes evaluating, amending, and voting on proposed laws and is concerned with the words used in the bill to communicate the values, judgments, and purposes of the proposals. In my reading of Section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code, I do not believe that the issue of legal issues related to legislative process is covered under the exemption. This exemption, which is consultation with attorney, closed meeting, is a governmental body may not conduct a private consultation with its attorney except, number 1, when the governmental body seeks the advice of its attorney about A, pending or contemplated litigation or a settlement offer, or 2, on a matter which the duty of the attorney to the governmental body under the Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with this chapter. I, for one, would be interested in the discussion regarding the legislative process. Does this cover a potential lobbying contract or strategy for lobbying for or against an issue? Also, the information does not even specify which legislative body does this cover. For instance, is it the Texas State Legislature, Congress, the County of Hidalgo, or the City Commissioners? Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Laurel.
Thank you.
And we have Mr. Manuel Pescador, item 183.
I almost never say anything in the agendas, but I see that you're trying to issue a conditional use permit. We just saw a group of people leave that are a byproduct, a negative byproduct of conditional use permits. I heard one commissioner eloquently say about the new hires and the added expenses. So why are we doing a 1-year conditional permit? Why not listen to this staff, then you have like 20 staff members and like 10 vehicles, and just listen to the recommendations. But then I also challenge the city councilman to go talk to the neighbors. I'll go with you. I'm always wearing tennis shoes. Whenever you issue a conditional use permit, you are affecting people that live next door. A young boy that plays basketball, an old lady that struggles to park her car, a guy like me that drives an electric bike for fun. Think about that. Listen to your department and go visit the area. Go visit at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. You'll see what really is going on. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Piscala. Okay, public hearings.
You have a proclamation.
Oh, we do? Well, actually, we do. Okay, we have a proclamation, McAllen Raptors, FC Day. Commissioner Haddad?
Get everybody up here.
All of them. Let's go, fellas.
All right.
Hey, coach. Just spread out, even out. We'll put these guys in the front for sure right here. Here, some of y'all can be on this side, a couple of y'all over here. Here, you can take the rest here. You can get up here, Marisa. You can get up here. Good afternoon. City of McAllen proclamation. Whereas the hard work, dedication, sportsmanship, talent, and exceptional teamwork has enabled the Raptors FC 2015 and the 2016 teams to earn the McAllen Winter Cup and McAllen Soccer Spring League championships. Whereas winning the 2015 and 2016 titles to earn the McAllen Winter Cup and the 2023 McAllen Soccer Spring League championships brought great honor to McAllen Raptors FC to keep the championship titles in the city of McAllen. Having faced fierce competition from soccer clubs and academies from Mexico and the rest of the Rio Grande Valley. Head coach Arturo Pesina, the entire group of parents, and each player at McAllen Raptors FC played an integral part in achieving these accomplishments through their unwavering support and dedication. Whereas today we recognize and congratulate the McAllen Raptors FC, all the players and their families for this outstanding accomplishment. I, Sebi Haddad, City Commissioner of the City of McAllen, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested in me and on behalf of the Mayor and the City Commission, do hereby proclaim July 10th, 2023, McAllen Raptors FC Day.
Good afternoon, everybody. Just thank you all. Incredibly proud of these group of kids. Back in December, they won the International Cup that was hosted here. We had teams from all over Mexico and the Valley and Corpus Christi and a couple of other cities. They just won the local spring league as well in both divisions. And then just yesterday, the 26 teams went to Houston to represent the Raptors in Copa Alianza, and they brought back the championship. So there's a lot of talent here in the Valley, a lot of talent here in McAllen. So thank you guys for having us today, and very proud of these kids and their achievements. So thank you guys. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Mayor.
Item number 1.
Mayor, Commissioners, tonight we have 9 items listed under routine, 2 rezonings and 7 conditional use permits. As always, they come with favorable recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission and receive no opposition. They can be approved in one motion or discussed separately as desired. There are a rezoning from C1 to C2 at 4200 Pecan, a rezoning from C1 to C2 at 7612 North Ware Road, a conditional use permit for 1 year for a boutique wine shop at 125 East Pecan Boulevard, a conditional use permit for 1 year renewal for the Rockwell, a bar at 400 Nolana. A conditional use permit for, renewal rather, for a bar for Suerte Bar and Grill at 400 Nolana. A conditional use permit for 1 year renewal for the Bearded Lady at 400 Nolana. A conditional use permit by Maria Cunha for some soccer fields at 501 South Benson. That is a renewal as well. A conditional use permit for 1 year for The Dive, a bar at 1116 Pecan. And lastly, conditional use permit for 1 year for Cobras Bar and Grill at 2005 Nolana.
Okay, do we have anybody to speak against the items, any of the items? Yes, sir.
I would have to speak in relation to the 2008 evaluation plan. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, otherwise I'm gonna say.
Okay, no, this is a public hearing.
Specifically on those conditional use. I know, but before I can address the competent authority, I need to speak to somebody that has access to that plan.
Okay, well, if you can, after the meeting, get with one of the city managers, and they can direct you to
Well, it's
the
in
information
relationship to
you're-
this order, so if you're abiding by city ordinance and you're applying to futuristic terms and it's not coinciding with the plan, just like y'all were addressing, you have to have foresight before you start digging dirt into any kind of land. If you don't have an understanding of what's taking place, you have to be.
Understand, sir, do
you
you
have to be
have
aware.
anything regarding the items at hand?
Yes, sir. I'm trying to, I know I'm not on the list, but I'm trying to address what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about.
Okay, anybody to speak against the issue? Any?
I'm trying to speak against it.
Okay, anybody else? No?
I'll make a motion to approve items 1 through 9.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Item carries. I thank you very much. Item B, rezonings.
Commissioner, this is rezoning from R1 to R38, 9212 North 36th Street. The applicant has requested for this item to be tabled.
Do I hear a motion to table?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item 2.
Item 2, the applicant has requested for this item to be maintained on the table.
Okay. Item C.
I have to abstain from that item.
C1 is a request from Moises Martinez de la Cruz for a conditional use permit for 1 year for an auto service and repair shop at 218 South 23rd Street. This property is located on the west side of South 23rd, approximately 50 feet north of Chicago Avenue. It is zone C3. Adjacent zoning is C3 to the north, east, and south, and R2 to the west. Surrounding uses include commercial as well as residential uses. The applicant is proposing to operate a mechanic shop Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturdays. Staff did receive one call in opposition from the adjacent property owner stating that the carport structures for the shop's working area were built attached to her building without a permit. There's also some site obstructions there along 23rd. The item was presented at the June 20th Plan and Zoning Commission meeting. There was no opposition. It was unanimously disapproved with a favorable recommendation. Staff is recommending disapproval unless he fixes those issues and gets permits as required. I believe the applicant, or not the applicant, but the neighbor is here as well to speak in opposition.
Okay. Anybody speak against the item? Yes.
Hello, Mayor, City Commissioners. My name is Eva Ayala Arechiga. Right now, we're talking about, I'm learning, these are all new verbiage to me, conditional use permit. And yes, I'm actually happy that it's not going to be a bar, right? There's going to be a mechanic shop next door. Actually, the building that belonged to my parents, my daddy built that building in 1945. And I'm very proud that my mom and I have been able to retain it all these years. I want to thank you all for fixing the drainage this year. That always affected that building for more than 60 years. What we're talking, what he just mentioned to you right now, I have pictures here of, at our building, our tenants, they built like some gate or something that's right here, and then our cars cannot reverse, so it's very hard for our tenants, for them to park because of the gate that they built. And then they put signs there which block the view, so it's a safety hazard for our tenants. We want to keep good tenants, of course, so they could pay their rent, of course, so we could pay our county and city taxes, right?
Is that one of the things you're talking about?
Yes. And they also attach their buildings to our building. And the other thing, the fire marshal should know, it's all fire hazard, right? I'm learning about fire hazard. Because if their cars catch on fire, their hood goes on fire, and then that'll make our building go on fire. So because for insurance purposes, we cannot have anything attached to our commercial building for the safety of our tenants. Yes? If you allow me to just say one more thing regarding parking on South 23rd. We were very excited, was that a yes? We were very excited when McAllen built the parking garage for La Plaza Mall. That brought a lot of customers to the city of McAllen. We were very excited when McAllen built the parking garage on Main Street. That brought us a lot of tourists and customers to Main Street. But South 23rd has been abandoned for many, many years, and a lot of prominent families that have been here for many, many years, like the Ayalas and the Molinas and Gonzalez's and just many, the Sainz family and Modises, their businesses declined and declined because, number one, we didn't have parking. Number two, we didn't have crosswalks. Number three, we don't have a parking for these small businesses. You know, they have enough parking for 1, 2, 3 employees, and then their customers don't have anywhere to park. So they're going to go shop up north where there's more parking, or they're going to go to another city. I don't know. So if you all can get on your tennis shoes and go for a walk on South 23rd, because that's what we would like to see down there. For it renewed, for it revived, because that's an international street, 23rd, that goes from the North Edinburgh 107 all the way to the International Bridge to Reynosa. So all these people that go back and forth deserve something really nice in that area. Thank you for.
We'll take a look at that, but right now, the subject
Yes.
at
I had a
hand.
question. You might be able to answer it, or maybe Edgar can. The structure, I guess, I see like this blue steel fence, right?
Yes.
But that seems to be along their property line. How long's that been there, do you know?
That's built on their property line, and it's attached to our building. How long have they had it there? You know, I've called several times complaining about it, but nothing was ever done.
Okay.
Is he trying to say that he rented it and it was already there? I have called several times to the city to complain, and it's like, you know, and I don't have the time to hire an attorney to take down a fence. You know, that would cost a lot of money to take down a.
Thank you. Eva, do we have anybody else? Do we have the applicant? Recommendation?
We are recommending approval if they fix. the
Subject
issue.
to.
Correct, subject to, correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank
And
you.
the
Question?
fixes that you're asking, I guess, one is,
Get a building permit because those carport structures that they attach to her don't have a permit on file.
Okay.
Remove the side obstructions, which is that wall with the blue things that she was talking about.
it's because they covered up the,
Correct. So it needs to taper down to 3 feet. So they can easily fix it. The blue fence can stay, but the signage
that's what I was getting
is
at.
what needs to be removed. Correct,
Okay.
sir, because that's what causes the side
And
obstruction.
then get that attachment off of her property.
Off of her property, correct.
Yes, completely. They need to have their own freestanding building. And actually, there were 2 car lots there before, so they can actually build their wall on the other side if they'd like, but they just can't have it attached to this building.
Okay. Anybody else? Commission?
I'm gonna make a motion to approve staff's recommendation.
Second.
I got a comment on that. Can we do a conditional approval? I mean, can,
Well, I guess it is a conditional approval.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
oh, you can?
For a CUP, absolutely.
Okay. Now, that's my only question.
That they come under compliance is required.
Yeah, so as long as the motion is to approve those requirements that you've already set forth.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm fine with that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is the conditional use permit for 1 year for bar renewal, Love Buzz at 3424 North 10th. This property is located on the east side of North 10th, approximately 200 feet south of Jonquil. It is Zone C3. Adjacent zoning is C3 to the north, west, and south, R1 to the north, and R3 to the east. Surrounding uses include retail, restaurants, and multifamily homes. The applicant is proposing to continue operating the bar from noon to 2 a.m. daily. Staff received one complaint citing noise. The resident did say he wasn't specifically against the bar, but would like the noise to be kept in check. We did let him know about code enforcement and what to do should the noise get too high. The item was presented at the June 20th P&Z. There was no opposition at the meeting, and it was disapproved with a favorable recommendation.
Anybody to speak against the item? No? Commission?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Next item.
Last item is a conditional use permit for life of the use for a church at 4300 North 2nd Street. This property is located on the north side of Comazia, approximately 150 feet east of North 2nd. It is zoned C3L. The applicant is proposing to operate a church from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sundays and then 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Monday. Staff received one letter in opposition citing concerns about future TABC availability, or eligibility rather, in the adjacent commercial plaza to the south. To that end, we did measure the way TABC requires us, which is 300 feet along property lines. It would not be triggered in this instance. So the item was presented at June 20th, P&Z. The same person was there in opposition, again citing TABC requirements, but P&Z unanimously recommended approval. We are recommending approval.
Anybody speak here against the item? Commission?
So moved.
Second.
The CUP would, is with the applicant itself, right? So
Correct.
Because it could eventually sell and be converted back to some kind of.
To a commercial plaza or
use.
what have you. Yes, sir.
Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. I need a motion to amend the zoning ordinance of the city of McAllen.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Consent agenda, items A through K. Do we need to pull anything? Items A through K.
I'll make a motion to approve items A through K.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item 3A.
3A is a water contract for the purchase of sign materials to replace damaged signs from the April storm. And we are considering this an emergency purchase. Mayor and Commission.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item B.
B is consideration and approval of change order number 1 and final for purchase of type D asphalt.
Mayor and Commission, this item is a deduct of the final reconciliation for the type D hot mix of $99,680.74. The contract amount is $1,102,856.51. We bring this forward just so that you can review the map. We were able to do all the streets that we had recommended. We added 3 additional streets. At the end, we had additional funds. We still came back with a deduct. Any additional funds through this account will be used for other repaving services. We do concrete work. We do reclamite, some rejuvenation work. So the funds will be used for other purposes. If you have any questions in regard to the map or the list, we open it up for any questions.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item C.
C is consideration and approval of amendment to the contract with Grupo Rio San Juan for design services in connection with the Anza Lewis Bridge expansion project.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners. So this item here is, we started working with SCT, the equivalent of Mexico's Department of Transportation, and Aduanas Mexico, and helping them with the design construction plans. So we did it through a grant with NatBank. Those items through the scope of work, according to the scope of work, have been complete. You have the copy of Aduanas accepting them. Now they're asking for assistance on a few more concepts that will take about 4 months. They will be paid for with SCT funding. And we just, since we already have Grupo Rio San Juan, it would just be just to amend the contract for a 4-month period and have that complete.
Questions?
Fine. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item 4.
Mayor,
Yes.
I want to go on record saying the following regarding item number 3.
Yes, sir.
First, I want to extend my congratulations on the successful engineering, design, and construction plans of the Ensalduas Cargo Project. on the Mexican side of the border. This huge achievement is a testament to the remarkable leadership of the McAllen City Manager and his team. Roy, your dedication and tireless work has been crucial in building a strong partnership between our nations and making this project happen. Many thanks to Bridge Superintendent Juan Obligar for his outstanding work with Mexico, which has been instrumental in bringing this project to action. Also, I would like to extend my deepest thanks to Aduanas Mexico, known as ANAM, for their support throughout this journey. ANAM's contributions and collaboration has been so important in securing the implementation of this monumental design project. I would also like to recognize the vision and commitment of our mayor and my colleagues on the McAllen City Commission. Their dedication and foresight have paved the way for this historic collaboration between the City of McAllen and the Mexican federal government. I am amazed at the size of this achievement and its positive economic impact this project will have on the region for generations to come. I would like to acknowledge the power of international trade collaboration, which brings nations closer together. The El Salvador's Cargo Project is an example of the spirit of cooperation and unity, and shows the immense potential that happens when we work hand in hand. My deepest gratitude and congratulations to all those involved in making the El Salvador's Cargo Project a reality. May this accomplishment serve as an inspiration to future generations, reminding them of the power that lies within collaborative efforts. Thank you and congratulations once again. Thank you.
Commissioner.
So Roy, Juan, you know what? I apologize. Sometimes we don't say thanks enough. Thank you all so much for what you all do. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Roy.
Let's see, we have,
4A is
4A.
providing for the approval of fiscal year 23 to 27 consolidated plan, strategy document including fiscal year 23 to 24 CDBG, home and ESG annual action plan.
So the item before you is what was presented at the last City Commission meeting on behalf of the Community Development Council. This is actually for the approval of the document. I'd be happy to answer any questions on the budget.
questions. None. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Against? Motion carries. Item 5.
5A is consideration of a variance request to the right-of-way requirements for Lark Avenue at the proposed Olive Grove Estate subdivision of 3900 Lark Avenue.
Yes, sir. Olive Grove Estates is a two-lot subdivision measuring 5.9 acres located on the south side of Lark, approximately 140 feet west of Ware Road. The developer is requesting a variance to the right-of-way dedication for Lark. Comprehensive plan designates Lark as a minor arterial, calling for 50 feet from center line for a total of 100 total feet of right-of-way. The developer is proposing to dedicate 20 feet instead of the required 30 feet for their subdivision. The basis for this request is the existence of some palms, oak, and olive trees that are located on the south side of Lark, which the developer would like to remain. The development team reviewed the request and are recommending this approval since right-of-way can still be used for infrastructure replacement of utilities, and commission had previously approved a reduction in paving width for those trees. The variance was presented at the June 20th Planning and Zoning Commission meeting where P&Z recommended disapproval of the request. I believe the applicant is here as well.
Okay. Questions, comments?
Now?
Applicant? Yeah.
Oh, the applicant.
Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, first of all, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to make this presentation to this body. We are not asking for anything that is not in line with the actual thoroughfare plan. I know the thoroughfare plan has 100 foot that they're asking for in right-of-way. But the last time I was here, a variance was requested. I'm still asking why we had to ask for a variance, because the arterial, minor arterial definition under the code is actually 52 feet to 65 feet, and we agreed to 53.9. So we were within the range that the city allows for minor arteries. There are some huge trees, we're estimating well over 50 years old. The palm trees are there. we're not requesting anything that's not going to beautify the city. We're actually saying that we will pave up to the 53.9 that we've agreed to and the commission agreed to. We plan to put a 5-foot sidewalk and then a wall and landscape all the outside so that the people using that 5-foot area actually can enjoy the natural beauty of McAllen. If you look at the 53.9 curb and gutter end to end, you are going to find that with our proposal, the city will still have over 31 feet available of right-of-way. That side of the street has a huge drain that TxDOT put in. That drain is the only utility on that side. There is no utility on that side. All the utilities are on the north side of the street. We are working with planning to punch or bore 2 services, 1 to each residence, so that we don't disturb the right-of-way at all at this point. And we don't believe that this is something that is going to affect the city in the long haul. The street's going to be 53.9 feet wide. That is more than enough for 4 lanes. And if you look at the national recommendations for the speed limit in that area, you could get pretty close, get to 5 lanes if you wanted to. I'm respectfully asking the commission to allow the variance to go forward so that we can proceed with our development. All we're trying to do is build 2 houses, one of which will be my own personal home. And I would truly appreciate the commission going and looking at the property, if you haven't already, the photographs that I showed you, so that you can appreciate what we're trying to save for the city of McAllen.
Judge, and actually, I have seen the property. It's a beautiful property. I mean, generally, here we have the individuals that vote, but if it's something that we could possibly do, if we can, we do. If not, it's because we can. So we need to figure out, Roy, what are the issues?
Well, I actually have a question for the engineer. So does the 53.9 feet of pavement fit with the right-of-way if we don't take that 10 feet? That's number one. And then number two, how much area do you have from the edge of the curb to those trees as a clear zone?
There is enough room to fit the pavement. We had previously disagreed that it should be a 53-foot pavement. We wanted the 65-foot pavement. We feel that's a 5-lane road. This is
Right,
already,
but that was approved
yeah,
and
it
that's
was-
behind us.
So one put it there. Beyond that, there's probably about 20 feet to the palm trees. But with a curb and gutter, that would be considered a barrier curb. We still recommend the full 100. We think in the future we will need that 100-foot of right-of-way. We think it's, today we could probably make it work, but in the future, that road is going to carry the volume. It is going to be important at some point in time where we will have to extend that. What'll end up happening is we're going to end up having to buy that right away at some point. And that's why we've recommended to planning that we need the 100-foot of right-of-way. That's engineering's position.
At what certain point in time do you think we may, absolutely, we need it?
Well, I had, we were against it when the variance was granted. So we think today it's needed. We can get away with it right now, but we think today it's already needed.
But let me ask you a question. The corner, because this doesn't go all the way to Ware Road. The corner is already developed. And if I recall, I've seen it. There's no room to cut on that development there, in that corner.
So the design you'll have is a 4-lane road, someone making a left turn into the subdivision to the north will be holding traffic up. As volumes go up, that speed will slow down. If this development ever changes from a 2-lot residential to anything else in the future, 20, 30 years down from now, and that increases, those left turns going the other way to the south will be holding up traffic. You'll basically, when you build a 4-lane road, you end up with just two functional lanes because the two inside lanes turn into left turn lanes, similar to what we have in Dove in certain sections. And this is why we advocate for that 65-foot section when we do have minor, major arterials in our thoroughfare plan. And that's the reason we stand on that point.
Okay. But you didn't answer the question of the corner. The corner, you can't cut the corner. So in other words, it bottles right there. I mean, it's already, you already have that what is it?
It's a plaza.
It's a little plaza.
Well, did we grant a
They
variance?
dedicated their 100.
Did we grant that variance there or to that
I don't
corner?
think we did. I'll let it-
That one was developed when the comprehensive plan still called for 80 feet there,
Okay.
which is what it's there, what it
See,
has,
so
what it
Got
dedicates.
it.
Cutting for two residents, I just don't. I'd rather save the trees and I'm just, that's a unique area and you can't find it very often and you just have to protect it. I just don't see it. You know, if I'm here and in the future there's others sitting where I'm sitting and they decide to, no, we're gonna do this and cut it, I'd rather try to save it right now. I just don't, I don't see it. And that just, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, it doesn't go all the way to Ware Road. So if you widen it in the future, you're not gonna be, the essential part of it at the beginning of it is going to be not wide enough.
Okay.
So, and you have to, right now, you still have to cross the canal, that actually narrows it, and, this is wide enough, that's the way I feel. And I'd
Antonio, are
rather
you talking about the corner on the south side or on the north side?
On the, south side,
Yeah.
on the south side.
Okay, because that one has 50 foot of right away from center line. That corner.
That corner. And what would this have?
53.
53?
No, this is, how much right of way from center line does this have currently?
Currently? 20.
Oof.
Of what?
20.
20.
From the center line.
Correct. Which is why we need the 30 for a 50 from center line.
So the corner is not, it's not narrow to the street is narrower.
The pavement may be, but not the right of way.
The pavement may be, but
But
not the right of way. But the right of way is, they're using parking there. I'm not seeing it, I mean, I just know it, I've driven it many times.
Yeah. I mean, it's right here on the
Yeah.
plat from their engineer.
I just don't see the extra widening. We're already gonna get a 53-foot street there, all the way to the Twin Canals. And that bottles down anyway, there. So, and you have those palm trees and the anahuacs and oak trees that are there, and I just don't, I don't see it, a reason why we would want it. I wouldn't want to cut them.
So if we were to disapprove this item, does that affect the trees? Or,
No, it puts them at risk for later.
In the future,
In the
if they-
future.
as we widen, yes, sir.
If we widen the road, would be the only
So
time.
when we widen, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You know, I'm sitting in this commission today.
Well, is
Tomorrow
it-
it could be somebody else.
I know,
so-
is it widen a street or keep the trees? I mean, I guess what's more important? Is that kind of where we're at?
Well, in my eyes, it's wide enough, and we save the trees.
Not according to our city planner.
I agree. It's not according to them, you're right.
I guess the request by engineering and planning, if the right of way safeguards the city for growth, right? If we never expand it, those trees stay forever. But otherwise, we'd have to purchase the right of way after giving it away to you today. Yeah.
And I don't mean any disrespect, Mr. Haddad, but I heard this from another member of the planning department where they made a comment and it was rather offensive to me because they said, well, you're asking us to give you 10 feet. No, it's my land.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's my land. You're asking me to give you 30 feet. And to answer your question, if you drive that road, you'll realize that 53.9 feet is more than enough pavement to move people through there. First of all, when you look at where this property is and the proximity to Ware Road, you want traffic to slow down. You don't want traffic to go straight through there at 50 miles an hour. The subdivision that's to the north has one entrance. If you go to the canal and you're coming in from that side, there's never been a problem turning left there. With the traffic there at its highest level, when you're traveling to the to the east, we will not be needing a left turn lane for cars going in. If the subdivision changes from 2 lots to more, then take the extra 10 feet or more if you want. But right now, I'm asking to build my house. And to answer your question, with all due respect, Commissioner, it's our land. It's the land that I paid well over $100,000 an acre for. And I want to maintain it. I want to build a nice house. At my age, I'm not planning to cut it up into pieces and do something else like I'm doing to my house on 107. I don't want to do that. I want to keep this house. I don't want to die there because I don't want to die, but I want to keep it. And this is the house I want to live in. And so I'm not asking the city to do anything out of the ordinary. By the way, your engineers did not say they needed more land right now. They said they may need it in the future. And for you to sit here and say, well, we need it. No, you don't need it. You have more than enough to run traffic through there for many, many years. And what you are asking for is, well, in the future, if we want, you can keep the trees there until we need it. Why should I give it to you now? You don't need it. I'm agreeing to 53.9 of pavement. I'm agreeing to give you 20 more feet, leaving you 30 more feet of right-of-way past the curb and gutter. That's all I want to say. I really appreciate you considering this. It's not an unreasonable request by me.
I guess one of the issues is if it doesn't happen right now, later on, we'd have to purchase it. What could we do right now to work that out?
Well, let me just say this on the last comments. This is the only mechanism that we have to acquire right-of-way outside of purchasing it, right? And so I do not disagree with the judge on what he just said, that we don't need it now, but this is the only mechanism to do it. So I trust that he probably will not re-subdivide, and therefore you will never have an opportunity to take the right-of-way. And so the only thing that I can think of is that we would possibly have a contract where some future city commission decides that this road has to be widened, that he donate the right-of-way at that time.
Well, you're not around, Judge.
You're asking me to die young?
Not at all. But actually, that's kind of what I'm leading to, because one day it may be necessary. Well, it may be necessary right now, but not necessarily 100% right now. Usually in the subdivisions, we have a certain amount, but I guess kind of like you're talking about, hey, what about in the future? Well, you may not be around, but agree to, you know what, at a certain point in time, it'll get donated or something.
Mayor, you're an attorney, And-
Not too much anymore, Judge.
Well, let me just suggest that I know that you know the Constitution of the United States and the state of Texas protects landowners. And Mr. City Manager, the problem with the comment is that this is the only mechanism. No, the Constitution provides for mechanism. That is, that if you want to take something from somebody, you pay them for it.
Not during subdivision
No,
process, sir.
I have
As an engineer, I'm telling you, I know.
No,
that.
but as an attorney, I can tell you this, there is a limitation. You have to show that there's a need. And I have brought to you the fact, and the engineers agree, that it's not needed right now, and they don't even know if it's ever gonna be needed. You have enough for more than 4 lanes there already. And there's 30 more feet. And no utilities running there. And if you're gonna run utilities, by the way, I'm not only developing this, but I am a developer myself. And if you're gonna run utilities there, you're gonna run them where they already exist. And they're on the north side. So I don't believe that the city's gonna be burdened by this. I don't believe that if you look at where the growth is, that you're gonna be running that. By the way, fewer people will use 4 Mile line when they expand 5 Mile line because TxDOT's gonna run it. I'm sure you all already know that. And so when that subdivision goes in of 2 homes, we're not putting a burden on the highway. We're not putting a burden on the traffic. And we're not going to cause traffic jams with a couple of people entering and leaving our subdivision. I don't believe that we're burdening the city. I don't believe that the city really has something that they can put their finger on that they need even within the next 10 years.
For the record, I agree with everything you said. I'm trying to get past a possibility that you're gonna be denied. And so I'm trying to help, but it's up to the city commission.
So when you purchased the property, the right-of-way was at a certain distance, and now we're expanding that, making it larger, or did he already know when he bought it that right-of-way existed at a certain?
No, he may not have known. So as you update your comprehensive plans, your arterials, your collectors, we amend how much right-of-way we take. And so that's part of the subdivision process. So it's very possible that when he purchased the property, he did not know that this was going to be required.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, a lot of things have changed. They change it, the 60-foot goes to 80, 80-foot goes to 100, 100 goes to 120.
Sure.
And you could have the land and not know exactly what's the latest comprehensive plan. Yeah. Or it changes on you. I just want to save the trees, make sure we save the trees.
They are beautiful.
Doesn't make sense, huh?
That was my comment the last time. It's a beautiful area. What are the wishes of the commission?
I'll make the motion to, I guess, give the variance, if things is to give the variance.
Okay. Second. Do I hear a second? There being a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Next item, manager's report.
Manager's report, is Elvira here? Yes. You're prepared to do the Immigration and Respite Center report?
Yes, sir. Mayor, City Commission. The immigration drop-off numbers for the CBP and ICE have been on the rise over the past few weeks and could continue to rise. There was an increase from last year to this week, I'm sorry, not last week to this week of 5.9%. Over the past few weeks, our numbers have remained 250 to 350 per day. COVID positives average about 2.4 over the last 6 weeks, with a notable increase to 5.9 this past week. But please know we continue to handle these numbers well. And Salduas remains active with a current population of under 100 and a capacity still of 2,500. The remainder of the park remains closed to the public as presented by the Hidalgo County. That's my report.
Questions, comments? Oh, you probably wouldn't know, so thank you so much.
Don't you worry.
Pinch hitting.
Ándale.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
She does all the work.
Yeah, no, she would.
Okay. Future agenda items?
We've got a couple still pending that we should be able to bring back. next
Well,
meeting.
I didn't have one till now. Future, I have a big problem with that item 1B2 that was tabled twice already. And there was, obviously, individuals here that are being affected. And they're here and, they get out of work and they've come to already a planning and zoning once or twice, and then now they're coming to another city commission meeting for the second time, and it's tabled again. What can we do?
Yeah, why was it tabled again?
That was requested by the applicant.
By the applicant,
And
correct.
so you can continue to table it, or you can also say, we're hearing it, just because the applicant says to table it, you can hear it, or you can recommend that the item be removed from the agenda.
Correct, because the issue is, actually, I'm concerned about that too, because if
Because
the
of
people are
notice.
coming, they're coming, and then they stop coming and we take up the item.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if we set it for next month or whenever it is, and we do it, whether they want to or not. So, I mean, I think that's the only fair thing to the people.
At the next commission item? Or at the next commission meeting, rather? Okay.
That way we.
Yeah, I would suggest that we advise the applicant that we're gonna be prepared to hear the items, or that it's gonna be removed from the agenda. What I would suggest.
But I guess removed and not be placed back?
Well, he'd have to start the process again.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Is that what
Yeah.
you're looking for?
Yeah.
Anything else on future agenda items? Okay, there's a couple of things that I kind of want to talk about. I don't know how, Roy, what, or who we need to talk to, but we were, Commissioner Cabeza de Vaca and Castillo, we were in Tampico last, or 2 weeks ago, and we were very pleasantly surprised of how beautiful, how clean Tampico is. And it just started a few years ago with the current Presidente Municipal, Jesus Nader. They started a program, they call it Tampico Brilla. And it is amazing what's going on. You go to Tampico, it is so clean. It's the cleanest city I've ever seen in Mexico.
Really?
You drive, you see no papers, you see nothing thrown. You go to the marqueta, the marketplace, it is amazing. And so we were talking about how it happened, and they started off with kids, doing a program, going to schools with kids about having pride in their community, about being clean, about, hey, telling your parents to make sure that they don't mess up. So I guess if you start them off early, they get everybody else. And it's a program that within a couple of years has really worked. And I wanted to see if we could implement something over here. Of course, it's McAllen Shines, McAllen something. But you go to the schools, and we're suggesting we need the help of the commissioners, because there's a lot of elementaries, and deputize kids about, hey, you guys are going to be, and it is amazing. I had never seen something like that. And when we left, then I see on Facebook, they had just gotten a bunch of more trash bins to put in different areas. But if it worked over there in Mexico, I am certain that it can work here. So it's something that I hope we can start taking a look at. And it's, well, of course, with the help of Keep McAllen Beautiful, in cooperation with them and the schools, I think McAllen can really shine. Well, that was one thing. The other thing is we need to see what we need to talk about. Met with a soccer team from Spain, met with a soccer team from Italy, and then from Mexico about the possibility of doing a McAllen International Cup. There's a lot of interest. We were in Mexico again. Last week I was in Guadalupe, met with some kids. There was going to be some baseball kids playing in the tournament. I mean, people come from the areas, from different areas, and we got to keep on promoting that. When we had mentioned about McAllen International Cup, that's amazing, the emails I got, the texts, the Facebook, the interest. So we can start thinking about what we can possibly do regarding that issue. The other thing, I think we just discussed, Roy, a little bit earlier, about advising people about, and maybe even implementing a few more cameras throughout the city and making sure that people know that there's cameras all over the city. And one of the reasons I'm talking about that is they're in Guadalupe. They have 1,000 cameras in their city. It's amazing what's going on. And, you know, we're the third safest city in the country. We can be number one. And especially if people know that they're being looked at. You don't not invade their privacy in the streets. So I think that's something we could possibly start taking a look at and make our city even a little safer. Anything?
Very good points. Very good point. I used to travel to Tampico all the time on business. I'm talking 25 years and before, and it was challenging. I'm glad to hear Tampico's looking real good.
It is a beautiful place.
Really nice.
So, okay, if not, executive session, what do we have?
Mayor, with respect to the matter 7A, I recommend the City Commission consider a motion authorizing city manager and city attorney to take those actions described in executive session.
So moved.
There being a first and a second, gentlemen, congratulations. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Motion carries.
Mayor, with respect to item 7B, I recommend the City Commission authorize city attorney to take those actions described in executive session.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Mayor, with respect to item 7C, I recommend the City Commission take no action.
There's no action. Is that all we have?
That's it, Mayor.
There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Regular City Commission meetings are held on the second and fourth Monday of each month. Meetings are rebroadcast on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays on the McAllen Cable Network.